afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Leroy Wone, and I'm your host for today's show, the Innovators Show. Good afternoon. My name is Leroy Wone, and I'm your host for today's show, the Innovators Show. And I'm going to invite my panelists to introduce themselves, and I'm going to start from my left-hand side.
Okay, my name is Reka Guima and I'm a DESTA student. Yeah.
My name is Helga Mukasa. I'm also a Daystar student.
Hi everyone, my name is Moshemi Oliver and I'm also a Daystar student.
Yeah, thank you so much for my viewers and my panelists for gracing today's show. So we saw the situation at Kirobon Primary School, whereby the police tear-gassed journalists and vandalized their equipment. This was due to the controversial play, The Echoes of War, whereby the police wanted to arrest the former senator, Cleophas Malala, because he was the writer of the show. So I'm going to engage my panelists into some couple of questions on the police brutality. So I'm going to start with Oliver. Looking at the scenario that happened at Kirobon Primary on the eve of the play whereby Butere girls were supposed to do their play, what is your take on the police brutality against what is your take of the police brutality that happened during that scenario, and how do you think Daystar communication students can handle such when they go into the media industry?
Well, thank you so much, Leroy, for giving me this opportunity, first of all. So, what I think about the situation, first of all, it's very unfortunate what happened that day. But I would think the best thing to do as a media practitioner, first things first, is to make sure that you have your press card so that when you're engaging in such activities, you have a source of identification. So when the police see you, maybe they can see that you have an identification, and then you're clear to go. Second thing I will suggest is also that if you're also a media practitioner and you're going out into these events and you know something might happen, the first thing you need to do is to be prepared. So by maybe having, knowledge about first aid, things of that nature will help you just to when, life is inevitable. So I think first aid is the best thing. Yeah, and also the press card, like I've said. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Oliver, for your take. And I'm going to my second guest. So, Helga, what do you think? How can the Media Council of Kenya deal with this issue of the police brutality, looking at the situation that happened at Kirobon Primary?
In my opinion, I think the Media Council of Kenya should just do the basics, training the journalists, doing workshops, giving out press information when journalists are being attacked, involving the police, and with that it will just help protect the journalists and protect the truth as well. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Helga. Yeah, Oliver, do you have any other thing or something that you think the police can do to help in such a scenario? How professional do you think they can act to deal with such a situation?
Well, I think as much as we're talking about the situation, I think as a police officer, your first duty is to protect the people. So, as a police officer, just be mindful. Just be aware of the situation, be aware of what's going on, so that you can make the right judgment in the end. So that's my opinion on it. Yeah.
we normally see that the police are normally brutal in such scenarios. They don't have time to negotiate with journalists and the people around.
Yeah.
So Helga, what do you think the Media Council of Kenya can do to handle such a scenario? Should they bring bodyguards for journalists, or as the situation we saw, journalists were clobbered and the equipments were vandalized? So the police don't have time to really negotiate. So as Daystar communication students, how can we brace ourselves for such a scenario when we get into the media industry?
We should just always be prepared. Yeah, if maybe police are getting rowdy or attacking you, you have to also have your stand as a journalist, or even you can involve the community. Yeah, maybe you go prior, you educate them, you tell them this is how we are going to do this, and if they come for us, kindly help us to also speak out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to my third guest, that is Ray Kagwima. And Ray, looking at such a scenario, the school kids of Butere Girls were involved in all this drama. What do you think the board of management of the school can do to avoid involving children in such fracas between the government on both sides of the political divide?
First of all, I'll say the school is doing a good job because they're teaching the students to express themselves in whatever is happening. That's a mode of expression. So I'll say that the school can continue to do their job, which is engage the students in extracurricular activities like the drama. And I can say the mistake is for, I can't say the whole government, but the people who are causing harm to the kids who are trying to express themselves.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Oliver. Oliver, do you think such plays should be introduced at campus level? Such plays that Butere Girls wanted to do. Do you think such a thing can happen in university settings, such as our school, Daystar University? Looking at us, we are communication students. What's your take on that?
I think it can happen to anyone, so we just have to be aware of the situation we're in as media practitioners. So it literally can happen to anyone, so we just have to be ready for whatever. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, my viewers and my panelists. We are going to the second part of the show. Yeah, so we saw a scenario a few weeks ago. Mumia's East MP, Mheshimiwa Peter Salasya, he was abusing opposition chief Raila Odinga via his social media handles, and he was targeting a particular community because of the opposition leader being associated with ODM. And we saw there was a match between Kenya and Gabon, and Peter Salasya was clobbered by people who were alleged to be ODM goons. Yeah, so looking at such scenarios, I'm going to engage you in a couple of questions, and I'm going to start with Helga. So what do you think is what is the role of law enforcers to ensure that there is safety in such a scenario? Because when you look at such a scenario, they'll assume the police on this were not supporting, were not providing efficient security for the MP. So what's your take on that?
For the security matter, they always say utumishi kwa wote. So they're not meant to be biased. They're meant to protect everyone. So long as you're a Kenyan, you're meant to be protected by the police, the army. Yeah. So what they did was wrong. Leaving him to run a whole 1 kilometer, just be helped at the end. Yeah, that was a bit faulty.
Yeah. Oliver, what do you think is the limit of freedom of expression that Kenyans can exercise on their social media handles anywhere, in any environment? Because when you look at such a scenario, the MP was abusing people via his social media handles. So as data communication students, what can we learn and what is the limit of freedom we can exercise?
Well, first of all, I had you say the word abuse. I think me personally, I don't think that PK was abusing. I think he's just stating his own personal opinion. The only thing is, like, people take things on their own perspective, so you just have to to draw the line. Per se, you have to draw the line. But essentially, right of free speech is, it's anyone's right. You can talk about whatever, as long as you're not defaming anyone. Like in this specific case, PK did not defame anyone. He was just stating his opinion, and that's his opinion. You can't say that it's invalid or valid because it's how someone thinks. So yeah.
Thank you so much to my panelists. Thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for your insightful words. Thank you for my viewers for joining us this afternoon in this show. And I'm your host, Leroy Wone.